Hi, it's John Williams from MIT, and now we're going to look at the climate data using D3. We saw how to do a fairly simple graph and do the axes. Now we're going to look at the climate data, which we've already looked at. We're using Google Charts. So let's go and see what this looks like. Now, before we can look at this data, we're going to need to run an HTTP server. If I try to access this directly, we won't get anything. Okay, so I've got to run an HTTP server. So to do that, take a look at the video, but basically we need to move to the directory. So I'm in the directory where the climate graph.html is, and where the climate data JSON file is as well. And I'm going to run my HTTP server. Okay, it's up there, it's running on 127.80.80. Okay, so now in the browser I need to go to HTTP 127.80.80. There it is. And now I can click on Climate Graph and I get this beautiful graph. So it shows various colors. So this is one of my Bostock's, and make sure you can access this and then go and look at the file. So if we go and look at the climate graph file, I just want to take you quickly through it. We've seen most of this before. The thing that's different is, so we're defining the line, and we append the SVG viewport to the body. But it's here that we get the climate data. And we're using D3.json. And we specify the local file. And it's basically picking up some of the data and parsing it. Okay, so this is the date data. It's doing some very nice color things. It's launching that as well. So the main thing, though, to recognize is that D3.json does this work asynchronously. And here's the callback function that is going to be called once it's read this JSON data. So we don't read the data directly, sequentially, and or synchronously rather, and wait for it. We're doing this with a callback. So it's being done asynchronously in the background, which is a little tricky, but it's a standard technique when you're handling large data. So the rest of this you'll recognize, the scaling, etc., appending the axes, the x-axis, appending the y-axis, and then doing the data and drawing the line. It's all down here, and we're doing some mouse over events, which is quite beautiful. I don't expect you to understand all this code, just the general outline of how D3 works. And so just make sure that you can run the code and that you see this graph, this strikingly beautiful graph. Okay, good luck with that.